Above all, the 7 points I paid most attention to were more important than I expected. I'm about to share something that might sound dramatic, but is medically documented. 3 years ago, I eliminated fried and fatty foods from my diet, and the transformation has been so remarkable that people consistently guess I'm 20 to 25 years younger than my actual age. In fact, when they make these guesses, they don't know the 7 important points that changed my appearance. I know what you're thinking. Giving up fried foods made you look younger? This sounds like an exaggeration because you think it's impossible, but it's not. I can guarantee that by the end of this video, you'll make radical changes in your life. That's exactly what I thought when my dermatologist first suggested it. But I'm Catherine Palmer. I'm 67 years old. I live in Fort Myers, Florida. And 3 years ago, at age 64, I looked every bit my age, maybe even older. My skin was covered in deep wrinkles, sagging with age spots. I had chronic inflammation, joint pain, brain fog, zero energy, and was on medications for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and prediabetes. Back then, all of this seemed normal. Today, at 67, strangers regularly guess I'm in my early to mid-40s. The bottom line is they're not wrong, because I seem to have radically changed my life to achieve this appearance. My skin is smooth with minimal wrinkles. My energy is incredible. I'm off all 3 medications. My inflammation markers are normal. What's the difference? I completely eliminated fried foods, fatty processed foods, and excessive oils from my diet. I actually loved all the foods I eliminated, but I haven't consumed even one of them since I knew they were harmful to my health. Changing your eating style actually means changing your entire life. Today, I'm going to share the 7 specific changes I made, why eliminating these foods reverses aging at the cellular level, what science says, and the dramatic before and after transformation I experienced. If you're over 60 and struggling with aging skin, low energy, inflammation, or chronic disease, you need to hear this. Let me tell you my story. My name is Catherine Palmer. Most people call me Kathy. I'm 67 years old, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida, specifically in the Gateway neighborhood near Colonial Boulevard. I've lived here for 23 years. My husband Daniel and I moved from Pennsylvania when he retired from his career as a hospital administrator. We fell in love with Fort Myers immediately. The beautiful beaches on the Gulf Coast, especially Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel Island, the magnificent Edison and Ford Winter Estates with their historic homes and botanical gardens, the River District downtown with its art galleries and restaurants, spring training baseball games at Hammond Stadium where the Minnesota Twins play, the warm weather allowing year-round outdoor activities. We bought a 3-bedroom home with a pool in a quiet neighborhood. Daniel and I had wonderful years here. Beach days collecting shells on Sanibel, dinners at waterfront restaurants like Pincher's Crab Shack or The Whale, weekend kayaking trips through the mangroves at Lover's Key State Park, shopping at Bell Tower shops on Daniels Parkway. Daniel died 4 years ago from pancreatic cancer. He was 68, and we'd been married for 44 years. Losing him was devastating. In the year following his death, I completely let myself go. I stopped caring about my appearance, my health, my diet. I ate whatever was comfortable and convenient, mostly fast food, fried foods, processed snacks. A typical day. Breakfast was sausage and hash browns from McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue. Lunch was fried chicken pieces from Publix. Dinner was frozen pizza or fried fish from Captain D's. I constantly snacked on chips, cookies, cheese, crackers. I gained 42 pounds, reaching 194 pounds at 5'6". My cholesterol shot up to 268 mmHg. My blood pressure was 152/94. My fasting blood sugar was 118 mmDL, pre-diabetic. But worse than the numbers was how I looked and felt. It was almost like I was killing myself. I felt terrible, and this situation was destroying me day by day. At 64, I looked elderly. My face was full of deep wrinkles around my eyes, mouth, and forehead. My skin was sagging, loose, crepey, especially on my neck and under my chin. Unbelievably, I looked like I was 80 years old. I had prominent age spots on my face and hands. My skin tone was dull, grayish, uneven. My eyes looked tired and sunken. Just think about what you would do if you felt 20 years older than you are, and mention it in the comments. Looking older than you are is quite exhausting when the marks of aging are already wearing you down. Don't you think so? People who hadn't seen me for years would say things like, "Kathy, you look tired," or "Have you been sick?" which was their polite way of saying I looked terrible. I felt terrible too. Constant joint pain in my knees and hips, chronic brain fog where I'd forget words mid-sentence, zero energy where I'd nap twice daily, digestive issues with bloating and acid reflux. All of these were literally like waves coming one after another. I feel like if I could get rid of even one of them, I'd get rid of them all. 3 years ago, I saw dermatologist Dr. Michelle Torres at Dermatology Associates on Cypress Lake Drive for what I thought was rosacea, chronic redness, and inflammation on my cheeks. After examining me, Dr. Torres said something surprising. "Catherine, your skin problems aren't primarily dermatological. They're metabolic and inflammatory. Your skin is showing accelerated aging due to chronic systemic inflammation, likely driven by your diet. Before we talk about topical treatments, we need to talk about what you're eating." I was confused. What did food have to do with wrinkles? Dr. Torres spent 30 minutes explaining something I'd never heard before: the connection between dietary fats, especially fried foods, processed oils, and excessive saturated fats, and accelerated aging. She said, "The standard American diet, especially heavy consumption of fried foods and processed vegetable oils, creates chronic inflammation in your body. This inflammation shows up visibly in your skin. Wrinkles, sagging, age spots, dullness. But it's also damaging your cardiovascular system, joints, brain, and metabolic health. If you eliminate these inflammatory foods, your body can heal. Your skin can literally regenerate. You can reverse visible years of aging." She recommended I eliminate all fried foods, minimize oils, especially processed vegetable oils, eliminate processed snacks and fast food, and focus on whole plant foods. She said, "Try this strictly for 3 months. Take before photos. I predict you'll see dramatic changes in your skin, energy, and health markers. Your biological age will measurably decrease." I was skeptical, but desperate. That day, I took before photos, close-ups of my face showing every wrinkle and age spot. I started the elimination diet immediately. 3 years later, the transformation is absolutely remarkable and medically documented. Let me share the 7 specific changes I made and what happened. Change 1. I completely eliminated all fried foods. The first change was eliminating all fried foods. No exceptions. This meant no French fries, no fried chicken, no fried fish, no fried appetizers at restaurants, no donuts, nothing fried. Dr. Torres explained that frying creates advanced glycation end products, AGEs, compounds that directly damage collagen and elastin in skin, accelerate wrinkle formation, cause inflammation throughout the body, and promote aging at the cellular level. She said, "Every time you eat fried foods, you're essentially bathing your cells in pro-aging, pro-inflammatory compounds. When you eliminate fried foods, You remove a major aging accelerator. Your body can start repairing damage. Research strongly supports this. A 2020 study in clinical nutrition found that high consumption of fried foods was associated with significantly increased markers of skin aging, systemic inflammation, and oxidative stress. Another study in JAMA Network Open found that regular fried food consumption increased mortality risk by 8% for every additional serving per week. Eliminating fried foods was initially difficult because it had been my comfort food, but I was completely committed. I stopped going to fast food restaurants entirely. I carefully read restaurant menus, avoiding anything fried. I stopped buying frozen fried foods from Publix. Within 2 weeks, I noticed reduced bloating and digestive discomfort. Within 6 weeks, I noticed my skin looked less inflamed and puffy. Change 2. I switched from processed oils to minimal healthy fats. The second change was dramatically reducing oil consumption and switching to minimal amounts of healthy fats. I'd been using vegetable oil, canola oil, and margarine liberally. Dr. Torres said, processed vegetable oils, canola, soy, corn oil, are highly inflammatory. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids that promote inflammation. They're often rancid from processing. They contribute to aging. She recommended I eliminate cooking with oils entirely, or use minimal amounts of olive oil or avocado oil only. Focus on getting fats from whole food sources, nuts, seeds, avocados, not extracted oils, she explained. Research confirms processed vegetable oils promote inflammation. A 2019 study in BMJ found that high omega-6 polyunsaturated fat intake from vegetable oils increased inflammatory markers and cardiovascular disease risk. I stopped buying vegetable oil, canola oil, and margarine. I started sautéing vegetables in vegetable broth instead of oil. When I needed fat, I used a teaspoon of olive oil or ate a handful of almonds. This single change dramatically reduced my total fat intake and improved my inflammatory markers. My CRP, C-reactive protein, an inflammation marker, dropped from 4.2 mg/L to 0.8 mg/L within 4 months. Change 3. I eliminated processed snack foods and fast food. The third change was eliminating all processed snack foods and fast food. This meant no more chips, crackers, cookies, packaged snacks, fast food burgers, or frozen meals. Dr. Torres explained, these foods are loaded with inflammatory ingredients, processed oils, added sugars, preservatives, trans fats that accelerate aging. When you eat whole, unprocessed foods, she said, you eliminate thousands of chemical compounds your body has to detoxify. You reduce oxidative stress. Your body can focus energy on repair and regeneration rather than damage control. I cleaned out my pantry and donated everything processed to the food bank. I stopped going to McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King entirely. At Publix on Summerlin Road, I started shopping only the perimeter, produce, whole grains, beans, minimal lean proteins, avoiding all center aisles with processed foods. This change was transformative. Within 8 weeks, my chronic digestive issues, bloating, acid reflux, constipation, completely resolved. My energy increased noticeably. I stopped needing afternoon naps. Change 4. I adopted a whole food, plant-based diet. The fourth change was adopting a primarily whole food, plant-based diet. This wasn't about becoming vegetarian for ethical reasons. It was about maximizing anti-aging, anti-inflammatory nutrition. Dr. Torres explained that plant foods are rich in antioxidants, phytonutrients, fiber, and anti-inflammatory compounds that promote skin health, reduce inflammation, and slow aging. My typical meals now. Breakfast is oatmeal with berries, ground flaxseed, and cinnamon. Lunch is a large salad with mixed greens, vegetables, chickpeas, and balsamic vinegar. Dinner is brown rice or quinoa with roasted vegetables and black beans or lentils. Snacks are fresh fruit, raw vegetables with hummus, or unsalted nuts. Research overwhelmingly supports plant-based diets for longevity and disease reversal. A 2019 study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that plant-based diets reduced cardiovascular disease risk by 16% and mortality risk by 25%. Another study in nutrients found that plant-based diets significantly improved skin health markers, including elasticity, hydration, and wrinkle depth. After 3 months eating this way, my lab results dramatically improved. Total cholesterol dropped from 268 to 162 mg/dl. Blood pressure dropped from 152/94 to 118/72. Fasting blood sugar dropped from 118 to 87 mg/dl. Dr. Torres discontinued all 3 of my medications because I no longer needed them. Change. 5. I increased water intake and hydration. The 5th change was dramatically increasing water intake. I'd been chronically dehydrated, drinking maybe 20-30 ounces of water daily, relying on coffee and diet soda. Dr. Torres said, dehydration accelerates skin aging. It causes wrinkles to appear deeper, skin to look dull and crepey. Proper hydration plumps skin cells, improves elasticity, and helps flush toxins. She recommended at least 80 ounces of water daily. I bought a 32-ounce hydro flask from Target on Cleveland Avenue and committed to drinking it 2.5 times daily. Once in the morning, once at lunch, and half before dinner. Within 2 weeks, I noticed my skin looked more plump and hydrated. Within 6 weeks, fine lines around my eyes looked noticeably reduced. Change. 6. I prioritize sleep and stress reduction. The 6th change was prioritizing sleep and stress management. After Daniel died, I'd developed terrible sleep habits. Staying up until midnight, watching TV, sleeping poorly, waking exhausted. Dr. Torres explained that poor sleep and chronic stress elevate cortisol, which breaks down collagen, accelerates aging, and promotes inflammation. I committed to a 10 p.m. bedtime, eliminated screens after 9 p.m., and started a bedtime routine: chamomile tea, reading, meditation using the Calm app. I also started daily stress management, morning walks at Lakes Regional Park, yoga classes at the YMCA on Cypress Lake Drive, weekly therapy sessions to process grief. Research confirms sleep is critical for skin health. A 2013 study in clinical and experimental dermatology found that poor sleep accelerated skin aging markers by 30% and impaired skin barrier function. Improving sleep quality reversed these effects. After 3 months of consistent 7 to 8 hour sleep, I noticed dramatic improvements in skin appearance, energy levels, and mental clarity. Change. 7. I added targeted supplements for skin health. The 7th change was adding supplements specifically for skin health and inflammation reduction. Dr. Torres recommended vitamin C, 1000 mg daily, for collagen synthesis, vitamin E, 400 IU daily, for antioxidant protection, omega-3 fish oil, 2000 mg daily, for inflammation reduction, and collagen peptides, 10 grams daily, for skin support. Research supports these supplements for skin aging. A 2020 meta-analysis found that oral collagen supplementation significantly improved skin elasticity, hydration, and wrinkle depth. Another study found vitamin C supplementation enhanced collagen production and reduced skin aging markers. I take these supplements daily from brands like Nature Made and Vital Proteins, purchased at Whole Foods on Daniels Parkway. Combined with dietary changes, they've supported remarkable skin transformation. The 3-year results, dramatic and documented. After 3 years maintaining these changes, my transformation is dramatic and medically documented. I have before and after photos that shock people. My dermatologist, primary care doctor, and friends all comment on how dramatically younger I look. Physical appearance. My face has fewer and shallower wrinkles. Deep lines around my eyes and mouth have reduced by 60–70%. My skin is tighter with improved elasticity. The sagging under my chin and on my neck has mostly resolved. Age spots have faded 70–80%. My skin tone is even, radiant, healthy looking instead of gray and dull. Strangers regularly guess I'm 42–47 years old. At 67, I'm often told I look 20–25 years younger. Weight, lost 42 pounds, from 194 to 152 pounds, without calorie counting or feeling hungry. Simply eating whole plant foods naturally regulated my appetite and weight. Health markers. Cholesterol dropped from 268 to 162 mg/dl. Blood pressure from 152/94 to 118/72. Fasting glucose from 118 to 87 mg/dl. CRP inflammation marker from 4.2 to 0.8 mg/dl. I'm off all medications. Energy and function. Joint pain in knees and hips reduced 80%. Brain fog completely resolved. Energy levels dramatically increased. No more afternoon naps. Digestive issues completely resolved. Sleep quality excellent. Emotional health. Grief has healed significantly. I feel hopeful, energized, purposeful. I've started dating again and recently met someone special through a meetup group for outdoor enthusiasts. My primary care doctor, Dr. Stephen Walsh at Lee Health, said at my last physical, "Catherine, your biological age based on biomarkers is approximately 45–48 years old, despite being chronologically 67. The dietary changes you've made have literally reversed 20 years of aging. You've added years to your life and life to your years." Practical tips for making these changes. If you're inspired to eliminate fried and fatty foods and adopt this approach, here are practical tips. Start gradually. Don't try changing everything overnight. Week 1, eliminate fried foods. Week 2, eliminate processed snacks. Week 3, switch oils. Build changes progressively. Plan meals. I meal prep on Sundays. Cook large batches of brown rice, quinoa, roasted vegetables, beans. Having healthy food ready prevents falling back on fast food. Find alternatives. Craving fried chicken? Try air-fried tofu or chickpeas. Want chips? Baked vegetable chips or roasted chickpeas satisfy crunch cravings. Eat out. Strategically, most restaurants offer plant-based options. I eat at places like Sweet Tomatoes before it closed, Chipotle, ordering bowls with rice, beans, and vegetables, or Thai restaurants ordering vegetable curries. Stay hydrated. Carry water everywhere. Set phone reminders to drink if needed. Track progress. Take before photos. Weigh monthly. Get lab work every 3 months initially. Seeing measurable progress motivates continued adherence. Find community. Join plant-based eating groups or meetups. I joined Fort Myers Vegans meetup group and found supportive friends. My message to you: if you're over 60 and want to look younger, feel better, and reverse chronic disease, please consider eliminating fried and fatty processed foods. The transformation isn't superficial, it's cellular. You're giving your body the opportunity to heal and regenerate. I'm 67 years old. 3 years ago, I looked elderly, felt terrible, and was on 3 medications. Today, strangers think I'm in my 40s. I feel incredible. I'm medication-free. Eliminating fried and fatty foods did this. If this story resonates with you, please leave a comment below. Have you tried eliminating these foods? Are you inspired to start? What questions do you have? Let's start a conversation. Hit that subscribe button for more honest conversations about women's health, aging reversal, nutrition, and practical solutions that genuinely work. Drop a like if this was valuable. It helps others find this content. Share with friends or family who need this message. Remember, it's never too late to transform your health and appearance. At 64, I looked elderly. At 67, I looked decades younger. Food made the difference. I hope my story inspires you to make changes that transform your own life.